Okay, for now, let's go to Chris Jones, who joins us now from London. He's the Vice President and Chief Analyst at the technology market analyst provider, Canalys. Welcome back to the program, Chris. Now, Uber's co-founder and former CEO, Travis Kalanick, had said that self-driving cars were an essential investment and that he believed that the world would eventually shift to autonomous vehicles. What's changed then? Why has Uber changed gears, so to speak?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me on again. It's been about 5 years now since Uber first started to look into this, to start the R&D, to set up the group that was going to be looking at autonomous driving going forward. And 5 years ago, they would have hoped that by now, 2020, there would be a fleet of robo taxis in every major city around the world in their own ride-hailing platform. But that hasn't happened yet. This takes time. It's very complicated technology to get right. The technology is not there yet. We're not ready for it yet. These need to be integrated into busy cities with pedestrians, with cyclists, with other human-driven vehicles around. And it's a extremely complicated challenge for every company involved in this. And Uber's not alone. It's plowed hundreds of millions of dollars into this. But this way, it can just try and focus on what it's good at, and that's running service provider mobility services in the cities that it operates around the world.
We know when Uber went public last year, it became, I guess, a priority for the company to at least aim to turn a profit. How much of this was a driving factor behind their decision to sell off this autonomous vehicle unit?
I mean, clearly it was a huge factor in it, and the CEO's been under pressure to get rid of this unit for some time, and with a year when robotaxis will launch in major cities around the world still unknown. It's just a big unknown as to when cities, legislators will be ready for this technology. Humans will be ready to get into these vehicles with no driver. It's just that much of an unknown as to when the technology will be ready. So I think it was right that it did get rid of the unit. It probably should have done it earlier, given how much it spent on it, but it has built up a huge team of experienced now engineers. It's built up fleets of vehicles that have been testing and operating in major cities in the US thus far, and now Aurora can take that on. Aurora is an autonomous vehicle technology company, so they solely focus on this. Again, a hugely experienced team at Aurora, and they've now gained 1,000 or so engineers and support staff from Uber with this acquisition. So Aurora becomes a stronger company. Aurora is one of the candidates to succeed in this space, but there's still a big unknown as to when this technology can come to market.
We know Uber gained its fame through offering the ride-hailing service. It's since expanded into things like food delivery services. But I guess this pandemic has really upended business models for every industry. But when this is over, what will be Uber's main strength going forward? What will be the business that really will help it finally turn a profit after all these years?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but they are extremely experienced in running a service, mobility services, in major cities around the world. They want to be the one-stop shop for mobility in the cities that they operate in, moving people and goods and products from A to B efficiently. They are experienced in managing a fleet, in predicting demand, in routing algorithms. They have a very strong brand in where they operate, and a loyal customer base. People use them for business and for pleasure in their hometown and in towns that they travel to. So yes, they have been hit tremendously hard this year, as every other ride-hailing firm has been hit as well, with the lockdowns, with more people working from home, less people traveling for business and pleasure, and also just people just not comfortable getting into a shared vehicle. But as we hopefully get back to some kind of new normal next year, riders will come back, but there's still a long road for Uber before it starts to turn a profit every quarter consistently.
Okay, let's see how they progress after the pandemic, hopefully. Chris Jones from Canalys, thank you again for joining us from London.
Thank you.